Welcome to the Investor Shed Podcast with Nick Beveridge, the ultimate source for all things investing and beyond. For free tools, tips, and tricks, go to northidahorei.com. Today's episode features Kyra Beamis. Kyra is a team leader at Keller Williams Realty in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. After a career in restaurant management and ownership, Kyra switched gears and took on real estate and investing. She talks about her influences, transitioning into a full-time agent, team lead, investor role, and how well it pays off mentally and financially.
Kyra Beamis?
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
I don't think I've ever said it out loud.
Really?
Maybe I have.
You didn't say it wrong, so that's good. Most people say Kyra.
Kyra?
Kyra. It's
Kyra
Kyra?
Beamis?
Yep. Nope, it's Kyra.
Well, Kyra, congratulations. I want to congratulate you. You just
Thank
got
you.
a prestigious, no, what kind of, how would you describe your job?
Like, just in one word, or?
Yeah.
I don't think it's, I don't know. There's so many different words flowing through my head. I like to help people, so I don't think it's like this super cool, like.
It's a pretty big deal.
It is a pretty big deal, but.
I mean, you're out there managing over 250 agents now.
Yeah.
And.
Can I tell you, when I was in fourth grade, I
Yeah.
wanted to be a CEO of a bank.
Yeah?
Because I like money. So a CEO of a real estate office, it's pretty awesome too. That has
it's
more
not
money
too
than a
bad.
bank. So yeah, I actually was hired at Applebee's the one time I was hired, I should say, because I wanted to be a CEO when I was in fourth grade. Like, I
Really?
thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
They saw that you put that on your resume, and they're like, this is why we need you at Applebee's.
Yes.
Because
No.
in fourth grade.
He thought that was pretty impressive. So yeah, but he, the guy who interviewed me, is kind of funny. He ended up being the CEO of Starbucks,
Uh-huh.
and now he's the CEO of Chili's, like Chili's International. So
Really?
some pretty cool people. So apparently that meant something to him when I was in the fourth grade.
Man.
He can spot talent when you're in fourth grade. Come on.
And now he's the CEO of Chili's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he was the CEO when he was the CEO of Starbucks. It was kind of funny because I was in Poland at the time for Applebee's, and he was there, and so I got to see him, and he brought up that whole conversation. So it's kind of funny that all just came up.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you grow up here in North Idaho?
So I was born in Southern Idaho,
Southern, okay.
Blackfoot. I lived in Chalice until I was 10, so Idaho, and then I moved up here. So
Okay.
I lived in Idaho
How long you been up
95%
here?
of my life since I was 10, and I'm 41. So
Okay.
31 years.
You can call yourself a native.
I do call myself a native, from Idaho at least.
Nice.
So yeah,
And you have a background in restaurants.
I do.
Where do you want to start? How did you become where you are today?
Oh my gosh. Well, do you know what? Somebody actually asked me that the other day, and it's kind of like the dominoes falling. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard that analogy?
Oh, yeah.
So my dominoes started falling, like, I truly feel like when I was 15, I lied about my age to get my first job, and it was in a restaurant, and it just kind of progressed from there.
Oh, nice. Quick story about
yeah.
it. I when I was 15, I lied.
What'd
to
you lie
get
about?
so I started skiing and like when I was 14.
Like snow skiing?
Snow skiing.
Okay.
And I'm not good at that, and I was really not good at snowboarding. I tried it for one day, and I was just like hurt my ass.
Were
And-
you not an instructor at one point in life?
Well, so when
Okay,
I
I'll
was
wait.
15,
Yeah.
I applied to be a snowboard instructor with
you
no
still
experience
suck?
at all. And somehow it just, they took me through you're with a group of people where
Yeah.
they kind of train you all together, and they just bring you on, and they forget to like verify that, look, oh, do you have any experience even
Yeah.
snowboarding? They just assume you do since you're applying for the job.
Oh my gosh.
And it worked.
It did.
Somehow, yeah, they taught me how to snowboard because they teach
Wow.
you how to teach classes, so they just kind of teach you from the basics, and you just kind of pick up
Suckered
on it,
yourself
and you
on
just
there.
kind of
So how long were you
slide
instructor
under
for?
just a couple seasons.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you still ski, snowboard?
I still snowboard here and there, not very often, like maybe
you just
twice a year. But I have kids now, so I can't do anything.
Are you going to give them lessons?
I'm afraid of that
Why?
because you know how dangerous that is.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I see a lot of people like bring their 3-year-old skiing or snowboarding.
But that's when you teach them. I broke my ankle in the 8th grade skiing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was horrible. And then I actually just went back a handful of years ago. It's easier when you're younger. Teach them to fall then.
Okay.
Just teach them.
I'll take your advice.
That's awesome.
Anyway, now you can go back and you lied when you were 15.
Yep, to get a job in a restaurant. And then in high school, DECA, like you had to pick what your career was going to be. And I'm like, I'm going to pick restaurant management. Ended up going that route. I think it was a whim. I don't know.
Did you like really enjoy cooking and stuff? Or were you just like, I'll pick this on the list?
Well, okay. Here, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. I've always liked cooking. I've always liked food. However, I was a flight attendant. Decided to leave Coeur d'Alene for a moment in time. I hated traveling the world by myself. Like, my base was in Detroit, so I lived in Detroit in a hotel with 6 people. They were all 6 strangers. They're flight attendants, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But I missed home, so I came home, instantly needed a job, so I went into Applebee's applying because I needed to work. Mm-hmm. And they hired me as a server. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to make some good money. Summertime, like, I made bank. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. And then they asked me to go into management. I'm like, all right, whatever this is going to take, I'll do it. So went into restaurant management, and then I stayed there for a very long time. Nice. So I worked for a couple companies, and I stayed at Applebee's for actually 16 years. Worked my way up, was a general manager. But in the middle of that, I actually left for a little bit because I bought a franchise. Was open for like 13 months.
Which franchise did you buy?
It was called Sana To Go.
Okay.
So it was like gourmet take and bake, like gourmet food. I had a building across from Costco, like in one of the little strip malls.
Okay. Yep.
It's now a tattoo parlor.
Yeah, next to the Little Caesars.
Yes, that's it. So tons of lessons learned, a lot of money lost. Went through a divorce then, filed bankruptcy, like because that venture didn't help. And it also didn't help that it was 2008, 2009 that I decided to buy a franchise.
Yeah.
Because that was the fun thing to do then. Not.
Well, what got you interested in going that route? And you're like, because a lot of people, going from an employee to I'm gonna buy a business, like there's a real mind shift there, isn't there? Or did you always want to own a business someday? Because that's a totally different.
It is a totally different. I always wanted to buy a business and own a restaurant of sorts. My dad was always self-employed, so I saw what it took, and I don't even know why I would have wanted to sign up for that. Because I mean, a lot of times it put our family through hell, like thick and thin, and you have money, then you don't. But I've always wanted to own a business. And so I'm like, sweet, I have a little bit of money. I'm going to go ahead and try it.
So you did that right as the economy was collapsing?
Yep.
Did you hire or fire employees?
I
or was
did.
it just you?
Well, so it was myself and then my husband at the time, but he had a full-time job. So we did have some income coming in.
So you fired him though, right? You got divorced?
Yeah. He's out.
Oh, dang it.
Best fire ever. So my mom worked for me. My sister worked for me. They would go do door hangers like weekly. They put menus out. I mean, they did a lot of free labor, which my family is absolutely amazing. They've always helped. And then I had a handful of employees, but they understood when it was time to go that when you can't pay the bills, then you don't have a job anymore. Yeah. So, but a lot of that experience led me back to Applebee's, and that's where I became the GM.
Okay, general manager.
General manager.
Not everybody knows what GM means.
I know. I always forget that. General manager.
Motors?
General Motors, yes. No, but here's the crazy part. So I was at Applebee's, and I was not the general manager. I was a manager. I just did my thing. Left for a little while. By the time I came back, this is probably even bad to say, but the restaurant turned a different direction. Like, they were dealing drugs out the back door, with my food. So I had to change that. I had to, shift
You needed
the
your
culture.
taste.
Yes. I'm like, what the heck?
Don't be dealing without me.
Nope.
I'm the GM, bitches.
That is awesome.
I'm just kidding. No, how did it really go down?
Actually, I had to change the culture,
okay,
from dealing drugs out the back to, running a very successful restaurant. It was fun.
What kind of drugs?
Well,
Like the almost legal kind, or
no,
the really
legit
not
legal.
that?
You're going to go to jail for a long time for them.
Oh, okay.
So
The bad stuff.
The bad stuff.
Oh,
The
dang.
bad stuff. Yeah.
You don't want that in your back door.
No. Oh my gosh, that just went sideways. Anyway,
Sorry.
no, you're good. And then was there for quite a while. And then I wasn't looking to change, and then God's plan made it. So I went to Buffalo Wild Wings. And then I was the general manager at Buffalo Wild Wings.
And they're just like, come on.
Come on, let's come
You were
run a
GM
restaurant.
there, you can be our GM.
Yep. Run a sports bar. So yeah, it was fun. I was there for 4.5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now that you've been a real estate agent, how many years now?
I'm into my third year.
Third year. As far as workload and stress wise, what would you say the difference running a restaurant versus running a real estate business?
So running a restaurant, you're essentially stuck in a building at least 60 hours a week. It's never ending. Like I would, if the alarms go off and the cops have to do a walkthrough or whatever the case is, like employees need something, you're on call like 24/7, but at least in a building 60 hours a week.
Okay. Are they playing like the same set of music over and over
Yes.
again? Like does that kind of stuff make you go crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could sing every track that ever went through that joint.
So it's not just on the radio, it's like a repeating track.
No, it's a jukebox, but it was
Okay.
a handful of songs and that's all they played. It was annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the question, what's harder? Is it being a real estate agent or running a restaurant?
Running a restaurant.
Yeah.
A lot harder because you have millennials that you're dealing with and 5,000 guests a week.
Yeah.
And people get hangry. Like they just want their food.
Yeah.
And if their wings are the wrong flavor, life is over.
So I've had a lot of jobs. I've had like close to 30 different jobs.
No, you haven't.
Oh, yes. Well, I started when I was 9. I had a paper out, and I
that counts.
pretty much always had a couple of jobs.
What's
like,
been your
through
least favorite?
Well, I was just going to say, so I worked as a waiter at Olive Garden while I was in my third year of real estate.
Oh my gosh.
But just for a little while, for like a couple of months.
Okay.
That was the most stressful job I've ever had.
It is a stressful
I
situation.
cannot believe how stressful it is to wait tables.
It's bad.
I mean, I would have nightmares every night.
People do. Like, you'll hear things like, I would have servers coming to me crying, and I'm like, hey, it's burgers and beers, bitches. Like, stop. Like, you're fine. They're like,
I've had a lot of jobs. It's not. It is
Restaurants
absolute
are hard.
hell. Like, if you're a waiter out there or waitress, stop it. There's everything else is better than what you're doing.
Agreed.
And because I've done a lot.
30, a lot.
You go work at KFC. It's way better.
It's hard.
Money's probably not there,
No, but
you got to stop.
restaurants are hard. Everybody should have to work
It's
in the
not
restaurant to know how to treat
Yeah.
people. Like,
I always tip well, but now I tip better.
That's, My daughter just started at Texas Roadhouse, and she comes home with stories. I'm like, been there, done that, kid. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely crazy.
Real estate's so much easier, right?
Most days.
I guess depending on who you work with, but
Yeah, it depends on who you work with. Yeah, no, it's good.
What got you into real estate? Because that's a big. I mean, you got a cush job, right?
I did.
You're a GM at BWWs or whatever they call it.
B-dubs.
B-dubs.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry.
No, people do BWW. Yeah.
I mean, you get free
food for life.
No, the UFC event. What are you doing looking at your phone?
I know,
Come
sorry.
on.
It's vibrating. I had to put it down. No, you can watch all the UFC you want
get
in
all
life.
the UFC fights.
Yep, all the ZAGs games.
Why would you leave that to go
don't know.
like have a better career?
And a better life and more hours with my family. UFC nights are my favorite. I broke up fights. Yeah. I don't know. Why would you leave that? I actually went through divorce number 2 because most people do that. Realized life is better without certain people, and I wanted more time with my kids.
Okay.
Because I didn't want them to be home, like running a restaurant. You don't get home till 2 a.m. I wasn't going to have my kids home until 2 a.m. by themselves.
Okay. So you thought, man, I can have a lot more time on my hands if I become a real estate agent.
Yes.
How true is that?
Yeah, no. Actually, it's not bad. However, like, my kids can go on a showing with me, or
Yeah,
they
that's true.
understand I can work from home and they're still around.
There aren't as many restrictions.
No,
on
like,
what
if
you
you're
can do.
trapped in a building for 60 hours, at least you can be at home for 60 hours. I don't mind working. Like, 40 hours a week is not existing in my life. Like, I have to work 60 hours. It's a mindset thing.
So what got you thinking? What got you thinking real estate?
So I was actually mentoring with Marie Pickford, and we were talking. We would go to lunch, and she would help me more of being women empowered, women in business, like women leaders.
Yeah.
And I was more talking with her about just wanting to invest. Like, that's what a lot of our conversations were that were around real estate.
Invest in real estate or just
Yeah.
invest in
No, in real
stocks
estate.
or- okay.
Real estate.
How'd you meet Marie?
Through Kevin which is I met Kevin through a sign call.
Oh, okay.
So I was looking,
You were
for,
looking
a
for a house?
Yep. Called him, and when I first called him, I said, hey, we wanted to be in the Canfield School District in this area of town. Yeah, we ended up buying in a complete different town. He thinks I'm probably a crazy lady on the phone. I sent him a list of like 20 houses I wanted to see in one day. He showed us one. Like, it just worked out. So, yeah, met Kevin through Marie.
Nice.
Met Marie through Kevin. Yeah, that's more
Isn't
like
it funny? People, when they first start their house search, they want a certain type of house, and then they buy something completely different.
That was
it's the
me.
same. Like, I sold cars for a while too, and
Yeah.
somebody always wanted a particular type of vehicle, and then they got something completely different. Like 80% of the time.
Could you tell that when they were walking in?
It was just a stat, so I just kind of assumed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
we
have
can
no
show
idea.
you. I put, I'm like, yeah, I'll show you what you think you want.
Yeah, but then I'm
And
going to show you
then
what
let's-
you really want.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, you just sit there and talk to them for a while, and just, I can't remember. That job sucked, but
One of 30. So we've crossed off
yeah,
what,
actually, it wasn't too bad. Just long hours.
three of your 30 jobs we found out about. So we'll find out more.
Yeah. There are more.
That's awesome. Yeah, so just talking to Marie, and I was headed to a conference for Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was like dreading going. I didn't want to go. And that's when we started talking about maybe real estate should be an option. And so just more conversations, and we sat and talked, and this was the route that I was supposed to go.
Okay.
But in order to leave the restaurant, I needed to have so much money in savings. And
Yeah,
that
because
was
you
one
don't
of
get
her-
paid as an agent.
No.
There's
And
no
I'm used to
salary.
a paycheck every 2 weeks. Like, I made some really good money, in my opinion, at that point in time.
Yeah.
And the salary was going to go away. And I was a single person with 2 kids that I support full time. So that was like an oh shit factor.
How long did it take you to save up 6 months?
Well, here's the crazy part. So we started this conversation, and I was originally, this was at the beginning, like January of the year, and I was going to give it until August on one of my birthdays. I don't remember what it was, because my birthday is August 7th.
Okay.
Was I was going to quit. I was going to have my money saved up. Everything was going to be good. And for some crazy reason, between taxes and God and like money, whatever, I was able to quit in April.
Nice.
So progress, like, I'm like, dude, I don't have to work in a restaurant all summer. This is awesome. And I have all this money. And so I decided, hey, I said, once I have 6 months, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I was done. So gave my notice. But between there and that, I did real estate and restaurant for 6 months at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, so you did the transition.
Yeah, which
That's
was
hard.
a lot, because I would come in and make phone calls during the day, and then I would work night shifts. So I was working 60 hours a week in a restaurant and doing 30 hours a week doing lead gen and
Yeah.
like making these calls that I was horrible at.
I remember my first time starting real estate in Orlando, Florida, and I was working at Disney World at the time.
There's another job and another job. That's
Oh, yeah.
5.
Yeah. I had different jobs within Disney
Oh
World,
my
too. I was a
gosh.
lifeguard, lake patrol guy.
That's crazy.
And then after I started having seizures, they kind of told me not to work
Not to
there
work.
for a
Yeah.
while. And then they're like, hey, you can come work at an arcade.
Oh my gosh.
So I was working at an arcade, taking out trash one day, and I'm like, I got to finish that real estate exam.
Yeah, I'm done. Done with the garbage.
But I tried this slow transition.
Yeah.
I tried anyway.
Yeah.
But I remember being at the arcade and like kind of looking at my phone, it's just going crazy, and people want to see houses and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't even talk to them for another 6 hours. This isn't gonna
Yeah.
work. I remember just
And
putting putting in a 2-week notice.
Well, it's hard because you feel
and
bad
I did,
because
and I didn't have any savings. I didn't
oh my
have any money.
gosh.
You know, I was on the verge of bankruptcy because of my seizure. I had no insurance,
Yeah,
stuff like that. No
that's-
vehicle. I didn't even have a car when I started.
Oh my gosh.
I had to. I did have this old motorcycle that I had a scooter
take
that I
clients?
traded for, but it
Seriously?
rained all the time, so it was just
Oh my-
embarrassing showing houses in the rain with motorcycles.
Mr. Bicycle. Hey, don't mind me. I'm going to dry off in
Anyway.
the bathroom. That's crazy.
So
You still have seizures?
no, I have not for 10 years.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you don't have
Yeah,
them anymore.
I'm on the right medicine.
Oh, good.
I'm heavily medicated.
Explains a lot.
Whee!
That's awesome.
No, I'm glad I don't have seizures anymore. But it was a weird time. I grew into it,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden just started having space off moments. Didn't know what was going on.
Wow.
And then I had like some grand mal seizures, and had them for like 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but they got me on the right medicine,
And
and
you're good.
I've been good ever since. I just
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, just
glad
have to
you're
drink
good.
a lot more wheatgrass to
To even yourself
to
out.
even myself out.
That's awesome.
Anyway, forgot what that. But the transition's really hard, going from one job to another, and that's why when
Yeah.
I moved up to Idaho, I wanted to make sure I had a good 6 months of savings
Yeah.
before I went back into real estate, and I did that. But it was also kind of a curse. I wasn't as motivated because I had some
You're
cushion
like,
in the
"Eh,
bank.
I have some money. I don't have to work so hard.
Eventually-
Yeah.
And that's when I had to get a job at Olive Garden.
We know how that ended.
Anyway.
That's awesome.
Sorry about that. Interrupted.
That's good.
So it took you about 6 months to transition
Yep.
to a full-time agent?
Yep.
How long from when you got your license to when you got your first paycheck?
It was a full 6 months before I
Okay.
got my first paycheck.
Yeah, it's
And I'm like,
pretty normal.
What am I doing? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I'm signing up for this. Yeah. But the one paycheck, I remember seeing that paycheck and I'm like, this is one house. I had to work a crap ton of hours in a restaurant to get that amount of money. So I saw the ending, like,
Yeah.
it would be worth it in the
It's
end.
worth it.
Yeah.
You just have to have a full pipeline.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get it.
And you get rewarded for your work much later in real estate life.
And you do. And it comes a lot later in life sometimes. Even 2 or 3 years later. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. My average, I look. It's been a couple of years since I studied my average, but
Yeah.
I remember my average was 18 months from when I first
Yeah.
talked to a contact from when I'd sold them a house or sold their house.
Yeah, it is not
The
an
average was
overnight.
18 months.
You're like, yes, you make some new best friends in 18 months.
Yeah.
So no, it does take time, a lot of time, but it's worth it.
Okay.
Definitely worth it.
So you decided to join a team instead of just go on your own?
Yep.
What did that look like?
I knew that I was coming to Keller Williams just because I was able to see that all of the real estate companies from the outside in to pick and choose which company I wanted to go to. And Keller was definitely the one because obviously I had been talking to Marie and she, a lot of the conversations that we had were, at one point she had told Kevin that she's going to run your team one day. Just my background with the management side of it. So I knew that would be the good combination where I should have been. And I'm glad that's where I ended up.
Yeah. I miss Marie. She's awesome.
She's awesome.
She helped mentor me. Well,
Yeah.
unofficially kind of mentored me when we worked right across from a hall from each other for about a year.
Oh yeah. You'll get some good stuff from that.
It's just interesting seeing just how busy she was all the time, but she handled it pretty well.
Yeah, she did.
Constant interruptions and
A little feisty and it was definitely good. But you can learn a lot from
helped me.
people just even being next to you guys in your office. I think that people in your lives happen for a reason, but you can definitely learn stuff. I wouldn't have known that Sam had that house for sale if we weren't office neighbors or
I know.
yeah, it's definitely crazy.
There's a lot of deals you can do just right in here without
Yeah.
an MLS, we can
Yeah.
all work together.
That's
and
why you pick up good office.
we're all in this together, y'all.
We are. That's awesome.
Ching. Yeah.
Royalties right there.
Okay. So it took about 6 months to get your first paycheck. How much was your first paycheck?
It was $3,100.
Okay.
And I
how
thought
much,
it was
how much did you make at B-Dubs?
B-dubs, I was salary, but
Okay.
my take-home checks were $17.50 every 2 weeks.
$17.50.
So this was
Every
like a
2 weeks.
month's worth of work
Yeah.
in one transaction.
Yeah. And the average time that you spend with a buyer,
20 hours max?
20 hours max.
Max.
So that's about half of the average.
Yeah.
Because I know the industry average for working with the buyer is about 40 hours,
Wow.
and working with the seller is about 8 hours.
I don't bullshit. No, just kidding. No.
So
That's good.
yeah, that's not so 20 hours to make about what you made in a month with how many hours?
60 hours times 4. 240 hours.
240 hours to make the
Return
same amount
on
of money.
investment was not well.
Now, do you think how many people did you make happy at B-Dubs working in a month versus?
I made a ton of people happy.
I'm joking.
not buying homes or anything, but yeah, it was good stuff.
Okay. So, what did your first couple of years look like then?
So my first year, I made $55,000 in real estate.
Okay. First full 12 months.
Yes,
Ish?
because the first 3 months I didn't do crap because
Yeah.
I was still
You didn't really
lead
get a paycheck
genning and
for
I was
6
doing
months.
I didn't get anything. So the first
So
year
that's
was
not bad.
55,000. I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. But I was making 72,000 at Buffalo, and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Am I really sure? But then second year rolls around, and then so Kevin and I talk about building a team.
Yeah.
We want to bring more agents. I like helping people, and the first 3 months I tried building a team with a couple of the gals and it just didn't work out. And those 3 months that I tried doing that, I didn't do my lead gen and I wasn't building my own business, which huge, like, it's not a setback. I just learning lessons, I should say.
It's a hard balance
It
when you're trying to
is.
grow a team and work in the business at the same time, work on it, and trying to
Yeah.
get the right people that are on board.
So it's amazing the people that can grow their teams. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So we decided that that's not the route that I needed to go, and I needed to continue to grow my bank account because it wasn't hurting, it was just like not growing.
Yeah.
So the next year, like if you take that first 3 months of this next calendar year, so in 9 months, that was the end of my second year, and I made over 200 grand, 205.
Nice.
Which was awesome. It was a big difference. So I actually did that in a 9-month period because
Wow.
I decided to work, like, do the job. Got a lot of referrals and, made a lot of money.
So how many hours at B-Dubs would it take to make 200
Oh my
grand?
gosh, years. I think about that all the time. Seriously, 2.5 years? Like,
2.5 years?
yes. I mean, I got sweet seats to football games and basketball games and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Does. I can just buy them now, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But it was, definitely a crazy amount of difference.
Is there a certain amount of money that, once you have it coming in where you don't really feel much of a difference? Once all your bills are covered plus more, like I kind of noticed it at like around $80,000.
Yeah.
I didn't notice much of a difference. Like I think last year I made closer to 250 or so if you include like commissions and flips and that kind of stuff. But I didn't really notice a difference in like my happiness or like
No, it's
or what I
not.
could
Like,
spend.
honestly, it's more stress.
Like I was,
Because I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, now I have to make the right decisions. And you don't want to, like, we don't splurge. We live very simplistically. I still live off, I feel like the money that I put in savings a long time ago, we still have that. It changes, like, how you think about things. I still don't think that I have money, like, in savings. I still feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to watch every little penny that I spend.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is we grew up essentially poor. And so I don't want to I don't want it to feast or famine. I want it to always be there. So,
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, can we talk a little bit about the house that you bought and that you
Yep.
basically fixed and flipped on your own? Like it was a live and flip,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Can you tell us where you bought it, how much you bought it for, what is your financing like,
Yeah.
and kind of go from there?
so I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. I had a house in Coeur d'Alene Place. When I got divorced, I stayed there and I kept it. And then I sold it. I decided to wake up literally one day and sell my house. I wasn't going to do it, but I said, it's too big. We don't need to be here. And so the girls and I, when I say we, my daughters and I, we sold it. We made about $120,000 profit,
Okay.
put it right into the bank
Nice.
until I decided I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know what that path looked like. So we actually got into a rental.
Now, hold on. Let's back up.
Yeah.
You made $120-something thousand profit.
Yes.
How much of that is owed to the IRS?
We're not talking about $0.
Because you lived in it for 2 of the last 5 years, right?
We lived in
Or-
there for 7. So yes, that
7.
answer is correct. So not to
Okay.
the IRS.
And just in case people are wondering.
Oh, 0. Nothing. It's
sure
sitting
you-
in my Edward Jones account is where I
Okay.
put it. It's in a money market account when it's getting 2%, but I can get it tomorrow if I needed it. Until I decided what I wanted to do.
Okay. So
So-
where'd you go?
A rental.
Okay.
I've never lived in a rental. That was very weird. Like, I bought my first house when I was 19, and so to rent
really?
a house was like, it was different. Like, I didn't feel like I could do the yard work like I wanted to, or paint, so we just chilled, like, did activities, and I lived there. I signed a 1-year lease, and we didn't live there the whole time. At about 8 months, there's a house popped up on the MLS in a neighborhood that I really like, and a Washington agent who is dual licensed. I don't think she priced it accordingly.
Yeah.
Like, I think she priced it $30,000 too low. When I looked at it and wrote up an offer that day.
Yeah.
So when I decided to sell my house, I didn't know I was selling it when I woke up, and then when I bought a house, I didn't know I was buying when I woke up. Like, it just happened quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Now, do you think if she didn't accept the very first offer and she just let it sit on the market for a few days and accumulate a lot of showings and activity, do you think it maybe would have sold for more than what she had it listed at?
I think she would have got into a bidding war, but I put some pressure on her.
Nice.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm just curious what it looked like. So you got it very first day. Got it locked up.
Like the second it
Yeah.
went on the market, like I put type timelines, like here is a cash offer.
Okay.
You need to take it, because my lending was cash.
Yeah.
Because I still need to file my 2019 taxes, so I got a cash lender. I put 6%, he only charged me 6%, no points, kind of a sweet little deal.
Nice. So that's a private money lender.
Private money lender.
Helped you out.
Yep.
Buy a house for cash.
Yep.
Was it a fixer?
Well, if you liked green carpets, pink walls, and roses everywhere, no,
Yes,
it was
I
not
do.
a flixer. Then you would have loved it. So it was built in '98, and everything was original.
Okay.
One owner, little old couple, she had passed away, and then he just moved into a home.
And how much did you buy for again?
$260,
$260. And what do you think it was worth as is? $290?
easy.
Okay.
If it was my listing, I would have put $299 on it.
Okay.
Great neighborhood. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. It's a cute house.
Okay.
So $260, just kidding, $270, because I also did take commissions off of it.
Okay. So
But-
what do you mean by that? You took commissions off of it?
I paid myself commissions instead of taking off the price. Like I actually got a check cut from
Okay.
the office. I don't know if you wanted to detail with.
Yeah.
Does
No,
that
I'd
make
like
sense?
to. Yeah. Well, I'm curious to know more. So
Okay.
you
So I-
added on more commission?
No, so
Or-
their purchase price was like $274, and I offered $270.
Oh, okay. You
But then I
purchased-
also acted as an agent for myself
Yeah.
and was paid the 3%. And instead of taking off the price of the house, I actually took a check for commissions.
I see what you mean. So you essentially got it for $260 because you got paid 10 grand of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up for
You're-
my
you're
stupid
welcome.
little mind. Wait, what?
There's your multiple personalities. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, we bought the house, and I was still in the rental, and I knew that I had a couple extra months, so I wasn't going to live in this house while I was tearing it apart. So I stayed
Okay.
in the rental.
That's smart.
It is smart.
You can actually
'cause-
get things done
Yeah.
when you're not living there.
And I did. So I have a freaking amazing family. Like, I called them and said, hey, on Saturday, we're going to demo a house. My entire family showed up. Even my 82-year-old grandma from Southern Idaho came up, ripped out everything in the house. It was pretty awesome.
Put your 82-year-old grandma to work?
She
demoing?
Yes, and she worked us under the table. Like, she was impressive. Like, yeah, she wanted to. She was rolling carpet, like ripping carpet out.
Oh, okay. So I thought you meant for a second like you paid her under the table, like she doesn't want to show extra income to get her Social Security checks or something.
She's going to jail.
I'm just kidding.
You know, she'll get let out
Well,
with the
that's nice.
coronavirus people. Yeah, so
you got a healthy grandmother. That's
healthy
good.
grandmother, amazing family, and we gutted a house within about 2 hours.
All right.
Pulled literally everything out of there, crowbars and all of everything.
And have you done that before?
Nope.
No?
This was
First-
my first time. So I was going to be a general contractor on a job, and it was mine. So, and since I knew I had about, I want to say like 3 weeks to close when I wrote the offer. So I had my subs come in to kind of give me prices, to see what they can do, what they cannot do. And everybody that I used is just friends or family that that's what they do for the profession. So they obviously all got paid. And I had a very strict timeline, and they followed it. So
Great.
for the first like 3, maybe 4 weeks, there was literally somebody there every day working, and they were all on time.
Wow.
Until the
That's some good
countertops at the
management.
end. Oh yeah, I think they were scared of me. They just showed up, so they did their job. So yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it was fun
my
stuff.
renovations never go on time. So congratulations.
That's awesome. But I didn't have to do like a ton of like electrical with small stuff. I didn't have to do plumbing and drywall and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
you kept it simple.
it was cosmetic. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, cosmetic, that's where the profits are. Are you keeping that house then? Are you moving into it, or are you going to
We're keeping it.
Okay.
Where's
Where's it at?
Over off Windy Pines. It's in Lake Forest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Cute, older, established neighborhood. Awesome little safe neighborhood.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna live there.
What do you think it's worth now that you did the reno?
I will list it at $350,
$350. Mm-hmm. And how much did it cost you to do the reno?
$25,000,
$25. Okay, so you're all in around what, $295 plus interest,
$291 and change.
$291 and change.
And then I
So you
paid
got to
1 month of my hard money guy of $1,100. So I'm not into it that much. I mean, so I have
Wow.
some profit sitting on there.
That's great. So
Yeah.
so you basically created almost $60,000 in equity.
Yeah.
By just jumping on a good deal.
Yep.
You creatively got it with cash. And are you refinancing it then?
I
Or
did.
You already did. Okay.
I did. Actually just did, and my first payment's due June 1st.
Awesome.
3.6% interest.
3.6.
Yeah, for 30 year. I think it's not too bad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So yeah, it's been fun. I will definitely do it again. And I would have listed this house, except for my 14-year-old threatened my life and said if we move out, I'm staying here. She loves it. So
Just got 4 more. Are your kids moving out as soon as they hit 18?
Only if they want to. They can stay forever.
Okay.
No, one of them I'll probably go to NIC, and then the other's going to be a freshman this year. So we still have 4 or 5 more years at home.
Okay. So what gave you the idea to just, hey, let's go ahead. Things are going great as an agent. Obviously, things are going fantastically well.
Yeah.
How about I take a huge pay cut
Okay.
and run an office full of ungrateful? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm totally kidding.
I did not say that.
She did not say that. I said it. What are you gonna do? I'm ungrateful too.
That's awesome.
No, most of the agents here are wonderful.
They are pretty
There's
amazing.
a small handful that need to go.
But you know what? That's in every office.
But that's in every office. What gave you the idea to go ahead and let's
Flip my life upside down?
Yeah.
A lot of it was Murray.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to try not to cry when we talk about this.
That's okay. We have no tissues here.
That's awesome. Thanks for the shirt. That's awesome. She was. You're not supposed to do this. She was such a big influence in where I am that she at one point told Kevin that I would be the TL here and run the office. I truly think that's like my calling for people is to help them.
Yeah.
And the vision like that she had and Ben when they were here, in my opinion, got sidetracked for the last couple of years. And I knew what it meant to have it here. And with the agents and with Kevin and with even with Ben, just everybody that need to be brought back. There need to be a good culture.
Yeah, the culture got disturbed a little bit, but you're bringing it back in, and we appreciate that, and we can see it. I mean,
With the
you're seeing
tears
a
right
lot.
here? No.
Well, but you're authentic.
Yeah.
I mean, you truly care.
I do. And I
Yeah.
thought that, I mean, I love my clients. I mean, and Kevin is still going to work with my clients if I have them. And that way that'll compensate me for some of, I can have referral fees because it's not all about the money, but I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't figured out how I'm still going to survive.
Still got to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the position that I need to be in.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that because we know like the TL position does not pay $200,000 a year.
No, it does not.
It doesn't pay half that, does it? Sometimes I guess it depends on bonuses and how well you're doing.
Right.
But,
a lot of it is bonuses and how the market center is doing, and it's how I'm helping the agents. Like my position, I'm supposed to help the top 20% in the office. So whoever's doing the most business is who I'm here to help. However, if I find somebody who's hustling like I did when I was a new agent, I'm obviously going to help them and pour into them. And if the office is good, I do good.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of how I'll get paid too.
Do you focus mostly on retention or growing?
It's quality over quantity, in my opinion.
Okay.
I know that Coeur d'Alene has 18-ish, 100 agents. It could grow a little bit or not, and I want the right people to be here. If we have 280 agents or 300 agents, I want it to be the right fit, not the amount of people. I don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's an agent.
How many agents do we have right now?
280.
280. What's our like max capacity that we can really handle with the size of our office and our staff? And
That's kind of a hard one just because like the people that are in the building, the majority of them are cappers.
Yeah.
So you have to be a capper in order to have an office. I think just as we grow the number count of agents is when we have to add on staff. So there's so many different factors. I mean, we could be 600 agents and still be fine.
so for those that are listening that don't know what a capper means,
Yeah.
you mind explaining that just a little bit?
Yeah, so at a brokerage, you pay, like, are you 70-30 split?
Yes.
So
70-30.
70-30 split, meaning as an agent, you keep 70% of your income. 30% goes to the
Actually,
company.
I'm at 100 right now. I just capped. But yay.
That's awesome. That's good. But after you pay
Cap during COVID.
dude, okay, that's awesome.
Like my cap restarted in February, and I just capped
No
last
way.
month. Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, thanks. It was all
He's a
stuff that
rock
we.
star.
I mean, it was stuff that myself and my team did like in the winter.
But
that-
that's what
but,
happens because
like,
you get
it's
paid
all
out
delayed.
months
Yeah.
later.
We're gonna have a bad summer. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna refer back to some like, crap. I knew it.
Just joking.
But capping after you pay $21,000 or whatever your cap is, then you keep 100% of your commissions.
Yeah.
Not all companies do that, and we do that here.
Mm-hmm.
So my job is to help all the people that are cappers to get there, and then try to create more of them.
Why would an agent, other than the money, want to like come to Keller Williams versus like a Coldwell Banker or Century 21?
A lot of it
Like
is
some of the more dependable the brokerages where you can actually get some leads and some
Yeah.
help, and I don't know about the training, but I'm not talking about the discount brokerages, but why come to this company that maybe what would you say to those people?
my reasoning is the culture.
Yeah.
What you get out of this place is, in my opinion, priceless. The training is impeccable. Keller Williams, just in general, is the #1 training company. They do awesome. But if you break it down to just our market center, the relationships that you can build with all the agents, with the staff, with whoever is here, it's, like I said, it's priceless.
Okay. Gotcha. And can we dispel like a myth of like our office being a pyramid scheme? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes,
And
let's do.
how does profit sharing actually work, and why is it not a pyramid scheme?
Okay, we are not a pyramid scheme. We're not an MLM. So profit sharing is seriously awesome. So Keller Williams in general, they don't advertise.
Yeah.
So we'll take this market center. So any of the profit that the company makes, because every company makes profit, the owners take 50% of it, and then 50% of it is given back to the agents, and it's distributed through profit share.
Yeah. It's distributed through this international system. Like the
Of
money,
7 layers
like you're
deep.
not paying agents directly. Like it goes to international, right? And then they route the money where it needs to go.
Yeah. And and it's based on how many agents you've recruited.
And the recruiting can be taken very lightly.
Yeah,
because it's not recruiting.
recruiting.
You're just simply, you may refer an agent or just a regular person.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you should try out Keller Williams, or just check them out.
Yeah. Who's the reason you're here?
That's
it. And who was
Yeah.
why are you
Well, mine's a little different. I came in off the streets in Florida. I had just I'm recovering from like this hospital brain seizure thing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even drive, so I'm just walking around this neighborhood. And Keller Williams, and I remember Keller Williams and Coldwell Banker and Century 21 were in this little area of Celebration, Florida, this near Disney. And I'd walk the whole block, and I just remember the Keller Williams front desk lady being very, very polite and nice.
Oh, did you name her?
I didn't know I could.
Oh.
So I named some other asshole.
And he should have said you should name her.
But when I transitioned from Florida to Idaho, I was able to switch it to somebody who deserved it in Florida. Someone who actually mentored me there.
Oh,
so mine was a little bit
different. Okay.
But I wish that was explained to me, or else I would have just named this the front desk lady.
Could she be making money off of you still?
She would still be making money today.
Oh, that's so
9
sweet.
years later, and I've got I think 9 or 10 people in my downline.
Good for you. Did you get profit share yesterday?
I haven't seen it come through yet.
Okay, go on your Kelly app and
I
hit
did that
profit
today.
share. Okay.
It still showed the really low amount for March.
Oh, my
It only showed
$3
March.
for March.
I got $3 for March.
You did? I think
Yeah.
I had $332.
Yeah.
I'll have to pull it up.
I think so far this year it's been kind of a slower. I think I've only had $700 or so for the year.
That's good.
700 or something.
I wasn't much until
But
yesterday.
last year was an extra $5,000.
That's
I think the year
crazy.
before that was close,
Good job.
about the same.
That's some good people
And this is not. I mean, this is like residual income,
that you will have.
all based off just. The only work I did was just telling somebody, "Hey, you should check out Keller Williams,"
Yeah.
and then they talk to somebody else and they get involved, and then they.
And
get
I'm not
excited
somebody
and
else they
do.
talk to now. So
Yeah.
you say, hey, go talk to this person. No, I think that's amazing.
It wasn't hard work, and it just pays in dividends.
And
for
it
a
goes to your
lifetime.
family. It's past your lifetime, too.
Like
It
Maureen
could-
Pickford.
Yeah.
She
So
had profit share.
her husband still
She
gets
passed
it.
away, And that money doesn't just go away, and I'm sure it's decent.
It's very decent. I know Kevin's last year, he made close to $30,000 in profit share. And I think she was right around that number too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So why is this
money.
different from an MLM though?
This isn't a pyramid scheme. You don't have to sell anything. Like, it's just, these are profits that just go to the agents. I mean, there's no catch to it. It's just pouring back into the people that are building your company for you.
Yeah. So to explain it a little bit deeper, like somebody that you recruit, you're not making money off of them directly.
No, so it's based on, there's a lot of different calculations to it. So it's whatever you have sold, and if you haven't been capped, it's just a profit off of you versus the 7 people underneath of you, and it's like a big tree.
So it comes off the split that the company gets.
It's off the company,
and the company split is pretty fair.
Absolutely.
It's like 70-30, and then it caps after about $20,000 if you're not on a team. If you're on a team, it's like half that.
Right. It is.
So the agents don't get affected by it at all.
No, they don't.
They just benefit from it.
They benefit. There's no negative. It's truly free money.
So for the months that are not profitable, do those agents owe money?
Never do they owe money. Never ever.
So they get all the upside.
They get all the upside and none of the downside.
None of the downside.
The owners are the ones that take the downside. So if there's not a profit, the owners are the ones that don't get the profit. And if they have a cash call, they're the ones who have to pay. We never have to. Like, our last month was slow because we prepaid bills, like rent and all that. So our profit share was only $3, and this month is completely different. So,
how much did you make last month?
$3.35.
Or I'm sorry, didn't you just get one last night?
Yep, $1,213.
$1,213.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been in the business only 2 years.
Yep.
And that's just off. And you've
I have 3
recommended
people
3 people to come into the business.
Yep.
And you've talked to a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't hard.
No.
I mean, $1,200 in 1 month.
Yeah, 1 month. So last year I had $1,700. So 1 month pays for
that pays for 1.5 Tesla payments a month.
Which is like, that's awesome. I have a truck and it's paid off, so mine's fun money.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So when eventually does that money shut off, though?
It never shuts off, ever. Like,
unless those agents just stop producing or get out, right?
If they stop producing, if they leave, but if there's somebody, people bump up. Like if they had named Joe Schmo and Joe Schmo gets out of the industry, those people bump up to your next level. So it's always like a shrinking, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of MLMs, like if the person in front of you goes away, all the money just goes away.
Yeah.
Ours continues to pour back into the people.
Gotcha.
Through 7 levels.
Is there anything else about Keller Williams that maybe people have misunderstandings about?
Gosh. Not that I think of it. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, like, we have fun. We get the job done. We're the busiest market center right now. I don't know, like, our numbers compared to the Coeur d'Alene area, I mean, we're much busier than the basic Coeur d'Alene agents are. So,
at other brokerages, are you required to like show up at a certain time and wear? Is there a dress code? I'm sure it varies per.
I think it varies.
Brokerage, but have you heard of that?
I've never been to another brokerage. However, everybody has like their own reputation and expectation. I think that we're kind of more of a casual, like, come as you are. Like, Dennis Spencer's the most amazing man, and he wears shorts all the time.
And he makes a lot of money.
He makes a lot of money because that's him. That's his style. Nobody wants you to change your style. Like, if you want to wear a dress suit one day, wear it. Yeah. If you want to wear shorts, wear it. Like, everybody's business is different.
Jamie Jennison.
Sweatpants
and Crocs.
Yeah.
And he makes a shit ton of money, and he's awesome.
Yep. Kelly Zufelt, love her. She loves sweatpants. Like, it's their jam. It is what it is. So, yeah. We like everybody to be who they are, which is fun.
So what do you envision the next couple of years of this office looking like? Now that it's kind of going to be directed by you.
The culture back plus extra of where it used to be. I mean, some people don't know what that was, but just honest integrity. Number one, I'm very competitive, so I like my numbers to be where they need to be. In the restaurant industry, there were very few female general managers. I'd love to call and say I beat the boys or rub it in or whatever. I'm pretty much a crap talker. But I can back it.
We can feel that now.
That's awesome. I want everybody who's here to want to be here. Like I said, it's quality over the quantity of people, and it just needs to be a cultural fit. I want us to be a huge part in our community. I love giving back, both Applebee's and Buffalo Wild Wings. That was my niche, was being in the community. Anything I can do to help kids, I just want to keep doing that.
Great.
Yeah.
So if we could talk about your investments again a little bit. So the markets are obviously, they're a little iffy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
With your nice cushion that you have,
Yep.
Are you planning on doing anything with that, like with either the stock market or commodities or real estate, for investment purposes only and not just to live in?
Well, some people buy silver, bars of silver.
Yeah.
Yes, actually. So
Got those bars yesterday. Yeah.
That's awesome. You should have brought one. I wanted to hold it.
I know. They're in the safe.
That's good space for 'em. My goal this year is to purchase 2 investment properties.
Rentals or flips?
I would like to flip another home like I did and then sell it and then also have a rental property. A lot of it is what's going to come about. Obviously, being in this office, you can talk to people and get deals before they hit the market or whatever. But I would like to flip another house because I really enjoyed that, and I think it turned out great, and I made some great money.
Have you heard of the BRRRR strategy?
No.
So this is great for people that want to flip houses, but they also want rentals. You can have the best of both worlds if you can find a great deal that you get for less than 30% of its, 70% of its value. Take a 30% discount.
Yeah.
And then if you can fix it up and refinance it, fix it up, rent it out, then refinance it and pull some cash out in a Fannie Mae cash out refi, that cash that you get is tax free, unlike a flip. In the debt, and then when you can rent it and you can have a rental as well. So some of my best deals ever have been like the BRRRR strategy.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's flipping a house to yourself or to your banker.
Yeah, makes
and
sense.
And you keep it as a rental, and you also get either
X
your cash
amount
back
of
or the extra excess, anything that's beyond 20% of what it's worth. Beyond sorry. Well, when you do a cash out refi, Fannie Mae, you're financing 80% of its value.
Right.
Typically.
Yeah.
Something like that. So if you have, just to keep it simple, $200,000 value on a house, and you're all in at 140 after your renovations and all that, you go to refinance it, you can get a loan for 160. It's rented out, it's cash flowing. That extra 20 grand just goes to you, and it's tax free. So it's like flipping a house to yourself.
That's amazing.
But when you go to flip a house, people don't fully understand just how expensive it is to sell a house. Yeah. Because even as an agent, you still have selling expenses. Yeah. Almost 10% is off the top with paying a buyer's agent, paying the buyer's fee or buyer's closing costs.
Yeah.
And you have to make it a little bit nicer than you would a rental.
Yeah,
because
you do.
you have to cover every little base that's going to come up in an inspection.
Right.
With rental, you can still get a pretty nice appraisal, but not necessarily have to do everything.
all this stuff. That makes sense.
So, I mean, when you keep an investment property, you're still keeping all that equity. Instead, when you sell a flip, you're shaving 10% off the top in fees.
Yeah.
Plus whatever you make, you're going to have to pay ordinary income tax on.
Right.
So almost 30% of what you make, you're going to have to pay to the tax man. So I would just encourage you, if you want rentals, but you want to flip as well, consider flipping to yourself.
I might have another conversation with you next time I go to buy something.
All right.
That's awesome. That's true. It's a good thing to think about.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of taxes.
Yeah, there's a lot of taxes to pay, unless you have rentals. That really helps absorb. And the government, that's set up on purpose. The IRS code is written to encourage the incentive of people providing housing. And they give massive discounts to investors, not just because they're cheering us on because we're making money, but like we're doing a good service to the community. Yeah, You're providing housing, and you
put your foot out there,
Yeah.
some skin in the game. Makes sense. Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
That's good stuff. What
just
else?
wanted. What else? I don't know.
That's awesome.
Good luck. Do you think our market's gonna crash?
No.
Why?
I think we're very unique being one in Idaho. Our government is not like others. I think two, being Coeur d'Alene, we're a destination. It's a touristy area. We're going into our season, which definitely helps.
Yeah. But that didn't stop us from crashing in 2008.
Agreed. However, the crash in '08 was caused by the mortgage industry. This did not happen because the mortgage industry, this is COVID. We didn't control this.
Well, sorry for I'm playing devil's advocate on
Go for
purpose
it.
here. I also believe it's not going to crash as hard as I thought, but
Right.
what's to say? I mean, COVID's going to crash this area too.
And it could. I mean, it could. I think especially with things opening back up, you never know. I think if the interest rates skyrocket, that's when we're going to be, oh crap, and then and the appraisers. As long as everybody can keep their stuff in check, but nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows, but that's just my gut instinct on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll essentially be fine
Okay.
because people are moving here because they want to pack their guns and live on acreage.
I'm sick of this governor telling me to stay home.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I truly
Bringing
think
my
that's
guns.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to Idaho
Yeah.
in our buggies and wagons that we drive around and pick potatoes.
I've had more leads come in the last like 3-4 weeks than ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. And people are
And
at home in
and we're
front of
not
their computer.
buying- We're not really like buying leads. They're just coming in
They're just coming in.
from all over the place.
Yeah, people are
Yeah.
moving here. They want to live in the sticks. That's
So
awesome.
what else what's something fun about Kyra that nobody knows?
Oh. I don't know, because I'm an
That's
open
appropriate,
book.
but-
Yeah,
Just
that's
kidding.
good full disclosure right there. I not boring, but like I focus on my work and my daughters. Like we do a ton of travel sports, and that's my life, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Right on.
So yeah, I'm just a mom.
Any good books lately that you'd recommend?
Can I tell you when I don't recommend?
Yeah, even better.
Girlfriend, Stop Apologizing. Rachel Hollis. Everybody's saying you have to read this book.
I hated it.
Shut up. I'm giving it to you. I'm going to bring it in. And I couldn't even
Just kidding.
go through like the first chapter. It's negative. Like, I'm not negative at all. Like, I'm
just
fun, outgoing.
I haven't read it. I'm
Oh
joking.
my God. I know you haven't. Somebody suggested it, and nope, can't do it. I'm bringing it to you, and you're going to read it.
Okay. I mean, I'll look at the cover. But
Okay, I bought it on Amazon, and there is no cover. It's like a hardbound, like on the spine is the name, and that's all. And then,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll try.
I'm gonna. I couldn't do it. And then I'm about to read the Nordstrom's book that Mr. Scharf just gave to me. So that's my next read.
what's that about?
Kind of the Nordstrom's family and how.
Oh, okay. The store.
Yeah. And it's not truly about the store. It's about customer service and how to be standout. And I think at this point in our economy, that Keller Williams is that standout real estate company. And I just want to make sure that we're hitting every mark on it. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think customer service is ever going to die
No.
in the industry. I think.
No. I mean, robots are going to replace and everything like online and everything, but you still need that personal. You need
Yeah.
a person, especially for a real estate transaction.
I remember going to a Tom Ferry conference once, a real estate and it was a couple of years ago. But he made a really good point that this new generation, the millennial generation, it's not all about discounts with them and stuff. It's about an experience.
Yeah, they
And
totally
they're
want an
all
experience.
about they crave experience. So
And they do. Like, and this made me really realize that I sold a house to this cute couple, totally nice. They bought the house based on their dog. If the dog was going to like the backyard. I totally thought it was a joke at the beginning, but that was like, they were serious. I'm like, okay. Like,
yeah,
they want an experience for their dog or their family or whatever the case is. Yeah.
I've had clients like that.
I'm just like, oh my, like,
All right.
okay, let's do it. So I don't know.
Is your puppy loving it?
Yeah,
No.
that's exactly. You're like, oh my gosh. So yeah,
Puppy,
that
get
was
your pre-approval.
gotta bring him
Yeah.
over and make sure he likes the backyard. Yeah. So that was definitely like an eye opener. So yeah, experience. People want experiences,
Yeah.
and they want to tell about it, and they want to do it on social media. And I mean, yeah, people like to have it out there.
Any advice for the people that anything that you would do differently if you were brand new, getting your license, transitioning from another job? That is there anything that you would do differently, or highly recommend to somebody out there that's considering doing this?
I would hustle. I wouldn't do that differently. I would find that perfect person that you fit with and make it happen.
So find a mentor in the business?
Find a mentor. And you can come to any Keller Williams and they can help you do that. But if you have somebody that you can go to, I think that's huge. When I first started lead genning, I didn't understand what that was, and scripting. I'm like, whatever, I don't need to do this. I got so frustrated, and I would go in an office by myself and make phone calls, and I'd come back in the office, and at the time Josh was in there with Kevin, and they're like, hey, how was that? Fine. I had this attitude of it's not working, whatever. So I did that for a couple weeks and I got nowhere. And then I started sitting in the office and I would make phone calls, and I'm nervous because these guys have been in the industry a very long time and I'm a rookie. I'm making calls in front of these guys, holy crap. Would make calls and I'm like, hey, how was that? They're like, we didn't listen to you. They're so used to doing their own thing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So finally I'm like, hey, will you guys listen?
I got an appointment.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Where's my high five?
So eventually I'm like, hey, will you guys listen to my phone calls to see if I'm talking right or whatever? And if I didn't have those, I think that would have put me on a different trajectory. Whatever that word is, trajectory.
I can't say it either.
Okay, good.
Trajectory.
There you go. Say it fast.
No.
So after a while, I started, hey, I'm going to make these calls. I'm going to put on speakerphone, and then I'm going to pause it. And then they would give me things to say, hey, say this, or hey, say that. And it made me more confident in what I was saying. Mm-hmm. And even not too long ago, I had clients that came in through a lead gen system, a few months ago. And they said it was between me and another lady agent in the area, and she's a higher producer. And I'm like, I want this. I want to beat her out. This is just what it is. And so Kevin made me call them back and say, hey, this is why you should interview me as your agent, and I would love to work with you guys. I got the listing, or I got the sell.
Nice.
They're my clients because somebody gave me the encouragement to call and say, hey, It's like the affirmation to be like, hey, call. But if I wouldn't have somebody who was helping me, even agents in the office, you need to surround yourself by amazing people.
I remember, something very similar, 9 years ago or something like that. My this agent gave me this Zillow lead to follow up with, and I called and talked to her, and she was already working with an agent. They put an offer on a house, and so they've already been locked up. And we just had a nice conversation, and okay, well.
Have a good day.
Have a good
day.
See
you later.
Yeah, she was already working with somebody and under contract.
Yeah.
And then and I remember that agent. I told him about it. I'm like, yeah, she's already working with somebody. He's like, well, just call her back and say, hey, if anything happens, and if for any reason you need to change an agent, I just want to let you know I'd be happy to help you. Something real simple like that.
Yeah.
But because that's something I didn't say.
Right.
Called her back and I said that.
Yeah.
I forgot, and I can't remember exactly how the conversation went because it was 9 years ago, but I just called her back and I just offered my assistance in case anything ever happened.
Yeah.
And I remember that person called me just a week or two later. They said, I fill out a contract. I hate this guy.
Yeah.
He never even showed me property. He just give me the lockbox combo to go drive.
What? Oh my gosh.
Well, it was Florida. So
yeah. See you later.
It was Florida, and they were all bank-owned houses. So
that's crazy.
That's all I was showing, or short sales.
Yeah.
So
those
it was
are
very
safe to walk
loosey-goosey.
into by yourself. Oh my gosh.
But I remember I got to work with them as a buyer's agent.
But you wouldn't have that if somebody didn't give you the confidence to just call back and say.
And offer my assistance.
Right.
And it turned out great. Sold my house. And then I remember after 3-4 years later, they called me to want to sell their house again. They had no idea I moved to Idaho. And I referred them to that agent who told me to call them.
No way.
And he went and sold their house, and I got a referral.
Oh,
so
it's a full circle. Those are awesome. It's amazing.
You should never just give up with somebody.
No, and just calling back and say, hey, this is why you should interview me, or I'd love to meet you or something. And you have to have those people in your life to push you a little bit.
You have to be not afraid to get rejected, too.
Yeah, say no. That's fine.
Yeah.
You get rejected all the time. No.
Cool. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, how about you?
No.
That's awesome.
I know our phones are going off the hook, so you probably want to get back to work, but I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. It was
very
fun.
much.
Yeah. Hopefully it was good and insightful and can help somebody.
I'm sure it will.
It better.
Keep up what you're doing. You're doing great.
Thanks. Hey, you guys too. You guys are killing it. It's pretty awesome to watch. And you guys are fun and entertaining to listen to, so it's good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We try.
You guys do good.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Investor Shed podcast. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for instant access to all future episodes. If you or someone you know has investing experience or stories to share, reach out to us in the comments or via email.